From Lidwell, the Thames proceeds south, where it meets the A429. The road crosses via a double-arched stone bridge at a place called Clay Ford. This is the first recognisable bridge on the Thames. Here, the Thames path crosses to the north bank. The A429 is built on top of a medieval trackway, linking Cirencester with Malmesbury Abbey. The river is easy to ford here, but to assist travellers, many clapper bridges have been built here over the centuries. These were simple structures built since ancient times over shallow rivers. Stacks of rocks will be piled up in the bed, and large stone slabs laid across the top, to assist people travelling on foot. The current arch bridge was built in 1791. Until 1964, this was the site of a multi-layer crossover of road and rail bridges which existed for over 120 years. In 1936, the Great Western Main Line was being built. A company called the Cheltenham and Great Western Union Railway were able to do a deal with Great Western to build a branch leading off from Swindon all the way to Gloucester, with a branch leading off it towards Cirencester. The deal was that they would build their line independently, and when it was up and running, they would sell it to Great Western. The financial market was quite depressed at the time, and it was difficult to secure funding. And so, the decision was made to focus exclusively on the section leading to Cirencester, as completing it would allow revenue to come in sooner rather than later. As always, the construction of the line faced some challenges, chief among which was a prominent landowner in Kemble known as Robert Gordon, who very much did not want a railway within sight of his town. After some serious negotiating, he agreed to allow them through, provided the trains would be unseen. An unnecessary cut and cover tunnel was built to the west of the town for this purpose. The line opened in 1841. 2 years later, it was sold to Great Western for £230,000. This was after it had cost the CGWUR £600,000 to build it. In 1845, Great Western completed the line from Kemble to Gloucester, making the former an interchange for the Cirencester Branch line. A station was required to allow passengers to change trains. The problem was, Robert Gordon's restrictions forbade any sort of public station on his land. Instead, an interchange-only station was built, with no external access to passengers and goods. Those who wished to visit Kemble by train would have to get off at Tetbury Road near Thames Head, and they would have to walk from there. Kemble Station would not be open to the public until 1881. At Brunel's insistence, the line was originally built in its patented 7'1/4" broad gauge track, but this policy made Great Western's tracks incompatible with the rest of the country. Following Brunel's death, the company began to phase out the broad gauge. In 1872, the Cirencester Branch line was shut down for 5 days while it was rebuilt in standard gauge. The number of daily passenger services varied over the years, but hovered around the 10 mark. However, the main purpose of the line was to provide goods to local businesses. Local farmers would bring their produce to Cirencester to transport across the country. However, this business model became a problem as it moved into the 20th century. Goods were increasingly being taken by road. Bit by bit, the line's main source of revenue began to dry up. In 1948, Britain's railways were nationalised, and the line found itself under the charge of British Railways. BR brought in policies to modernise the railways, and changes were made to the Cirencester Branch in an effort to balance the books. The expensive steam trains were replaced with diesel rail cars. Services were increased to 14 a day, and unstaffed halt stations were built at Park Leys and Chesterton Lane. At the same time, an unnecessary goods station at Coates was shut down. The line was boosted further by the closure of the Midland and South Western Junction Railway, which meant that this branch was now the only rail link to Cirencester. By 1961, the line was transporting 130,000 passengers a year, averaging 13 per train. On Saturdays, the rail cars were frequently overcrowded. Despite all of this, the line continued to operate at a financial loss, and to the infamous Dr. Beeching, that bottom line was all that mattered. In 1963, he published the Beeching Report, recommending that loss-making lines be shut down, Cirencester Branch line included. There was a great outcry in Cirencester, since this move would cut them off from the rail network, but these sorts of appeals typically only made an impact in marginal constituencies, where disgruntled rail users could sway the vote. Cirencester was in a safe Tory seat, and little attention was paid to dissenters. The line was closed to passengers in 1964, and to goods in 1965. When the rail bridge on the Thames was shut, the opportunity was taken to straighten the road running beneath. This served to increase the challenge for anyone wishing to reopen the line. A further challenge was introduced in the 1970s with the building of the Cirencester Ring Road, part of which was built on the course of the former railway. Nonetheless, plans have been drawn to reopen the line. The Cirencester Community Railway is a project to build what is termed a very light railway, a new system with a network currently under construction in Coventry and proposals across the country. The LR uses lightweight battery-powered rail cars with rapid charging ports in the stations. The tracks require no electric cable infrastructure and are much lighter and shallower than traditional rails. The cost per kilometre is a fraction of mainline rail services, and the carbon emissions are lower than most other forms of motorised transport. Because the trains and tracks are light, it would be simple to rebuild the bridge across the Thames. The new roads and housing developments can be avoided by simply detouring north and continuing as a tram track alongside the A429, which has the added bonus of allowing stations to be opened near Cirencester College and the Royal Agricultural University. The plan also incorporates a cycle route alongside the tracks. The CCR argued that this railway can decrease road traffic and boost connections to the area much more successfully than any road building project or new bus service. The project has plenty of support, but sadly lacks the funding to move it forward. In 2023, Gloucestershire County Council launched a review of methods to improve communications between Cirencester, Kemble and Tetbury. Though the LR showed many promises, they found in favour of improved bus routes, which are simpler and cheaper to implement. It remains to be seen how much longer it will be before trains are passing over this bridge once more. From here, the Thames turns southeast as it moves towards the first settlement on the river, but that is a story for next time. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and why not leave a comment to help the channel grow? It really does feed the YouTube algorithm and lets me know you're enjoying my videos. If you would like to support the channel further, I now have a Ko-fi page on which you can leave a small donation or else commission a video or a drawing. This has been a good opportunity to combine my rail videos and my Thames videos together. I am currently working on the next part of my Thames series and have more rail videos in the pipeline, so do stick around. In the meantime, why not check out the rest of my videos? Goodbye for now.